Welcome to True House Stories. I am Lenny Fontana coming out of New York City. We're now in the middle of the summer. I wish it was 1976, 1977. Then again, we would have rioting in the streets, garbage not being picked up, and disco becoming the new word of the moment. Okay? Because everyone talks about pre-disco and post-disco and Saturday Night Fever. But the man that I'm going to bring up in a second, he is what I call an architect, engineered this disco thing from the European side, and as well, I've awarded him, and I'm going to give it to him, and others have said the same, King of Disco, in a better word. He just received the Medal of Honor, the highest Legion of Honor from Macron, because my French is terrible, but I will say it Macron. Macron handed him Legion of Honor, which makes him similar to like getting an MBE or becoming a Knight of England. He's become a knight because of his musical accomplishments and everything he's given to the world. I'd like to introduce you all right here on True House Stories, Mr. Marc Cerrone.
Hello, hi everybody. Thanks to invite me.
Cerrone, you're a legend of legends. You're humble. You also are an incredible artist, fantastic drummer, all the above, as we all, as we've all known, and dance to your music. We've all grew up, loved, wanted to be you, in a sense. Some of us wanted to be Cerrone, in a sense, But before we get started asking the first question, I've asked all the artists over the last 6 months, 8 months, how have you been handling COVID? Because everything stopped for everybody. So you could tell us what's been going on in your life with COVID.
Wow, it's a long life, And first of all, I'm sorry for my approximative English.
His English
I'm going to try to do it best.
He's doing great. Tell him he's doing great. Write to him. He's doing fantastic.
So to respond to your question, I start when I have 12 years old. I start with the drums because I was a kid. Really, I tap everywhere all the time, and my mother tried to focalize this energy and said to me, "If you work well at the school, I will buy you at the end of the years drums." What surprise! Why not? And anyway, 1 year after, I got the drums, and during during these years, every time when I listen to music on the radio or the TVs, I always focus on the drummer. So when I received my first drums, I have already a few technique and understand a lot of the thing, how you tap on snare or the kick or whatever. And so after that, started to build few bands, with a friend who keep the guitar, who keep the keyboard. And until when I have 18 years old, I built a band. The name was Kongas, who was at the beginning an Afro rock band, and after 3-4 years work together to have so many concerts because the band have a great success in Europe, and we signed to the US. My first contract in US was with Kongas with Buddha Records in 1973. Can you believe that?
Buddha. That was bought out by Arista later. Became Polygraph, right? Arista, Buddha.
Yes.
Was that with Clive Davis? Was Buddha with that under Clive Davis? Was that his time?
That's right.
During his time, right?
That's right. And,
so hang on. Let me ask a first question. This way we get
right.
The Kongas now. That time, 72. Were you now? You're playing the drums, of course. Were you also production and engineering? What was the story behind that?
No, the whole band put the hand on the arrangement. We was creatively we was really together. But the band, because the record company pushed after one single success and 2 and 3. And then the hard record company push the band to make more pop. And I don't want that. So after discussion and discussion, I leave the band. And I stopped to do music for 1.5 years. But I was so frustrated. So I said I'm going to do one last LPs recording one LPs. It's going to be my last one.
In the beginning of your career? Wait. In the beginning of your career, you're already saying this is it for me. I'm done. Why?
I have no direction specifically. Absolutely not for the radio. Absolutely not for 3 minutes or 4 minutes. That's why the track is 6.5 minutes. That was Love in C minor.
Yeah, well, that was going to ask you that later, how you came with these long versions and why. But that was,
no.
But Anikana O and that records before that, like the Dr. Duda, those are shorter versions.
No, the Dr. Duda, that was in 1980, something like that. That's what Dr. Duda come with in LPs, Africanism. That was the name of the LPs. Dr. Duda, Tattoo Woman, kind of track. Anyway, and Love in C minor, when the recording was finished, I tried to get the deal with no really idea how much we can sell, maybe 12 or 15 copy, and nobody wanted to sign. So a friend of mine said to me, if we go back to London, Island Records can make for private people some vinyl. So I go to Island. Island said to me, minimum 5,000. I said, wow, 5,000 is too much. But anyway, I accept. We manufactured 5,000 copies of Love in C minor. And I start to put on some shop, some discotheque, the records. And the success was really come really fast. And 3-4 months after, some friend of mine said to me, wow, we heard your track in New York in the club. I said, what? It's not possible. It's not released. That was why, because at that time, Frankie Crocker, who was a DJ star on the radio, WBLS.
Can I stop you? Let me have this clarified. Let me ask this question. Island Records in the UK, you said 5,000. That did you have to pay? Did they pay you in advance, or was it that you paid to have it pressed? Which I was missing.
No, I pay to have 5,000 vinyl delivery.
Oh, so you paid. So you basically paid your own money.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay, so hang on. Everybody listen to this carefully. When you believe in yourself, he took the money, he went to the studio, made the record, and paid the $5,000 to get the record. I'm sorry, to get the 5,000 vinyl pressings. That's called dedication. But I'm sorry, I want everybody to understand that because I wasn't sure I was doing that correctly.
And one record shop in France, in Champs-Élysées, who was the name Champ Disc, record sorry again for my bad English. Anyway, I give to the shop 10 copies. The day after, he said to me, hey, when the DJs listen, he buy it. Bring it to me 50. So we bring it to him 50. Week after, the guy called me and said, I want 3, I take the risk. Deliver it to me 300 copy. We delivered 300 copy. We were so excited, you know.
Yeah.
And the guy called me back 2 days after. I said to him, you already sell 300 copy? He said, no, I have a stupid guy in the shop. We're supposed to send back in New York to a reseller some Barry White, not sell. The guy make a mistake. He sent your record there. So deliver it to me, 50 copy, and to wait until your record come back. My records never come back to France.
So a mistake that the Barry White was returned, but the Barry White was a Cerrone record. The Barry White, everybody, he was saying this is called return. So what happened was they usually returned the vinyls back in the days, okay? And they would go back to the record plant, to the record company when they would get a credit. In his case, Cerrone's mistake was the records, and a good mistake. The records went, instead of Barry White,
Like,
a Cerrone record. So they're probably going, what is this?
and the rest of the story is, so when the guy from the reseller opened the box, he see the sleeve, and the sleeve, with the girl nude on the front.
Oh.
I put that to get a little bit light, a little bit attraction. Anyway, he listened the record, and he played on the guy was on the DJs during the night. He played on the club. People come to him. What is it? What is it? What is it? Anyway, and the guy keep the 300 for him, and he sell from this set of DJ in the club.
Do you remember the DJ? Do you remember the DJ in New York that was doing that, or the person? Can you remember?
Not yet. What I remember, because I can't forget that, one DJ star, Frankie Crocker.
Oh, sure. WBLS, yes.
He tried to reach me to make a deal with me for Love in C minor, but he tried to reach me in UK, because in back of the sleeve it was rated printed in England.
Right, exactly.
And nobody knows me there. So what Frankie Crocker decided, he go to see Neil Bogart from Casablanca Records, and he make a cover. And the name of the cover was The Art of the Soul Orchestra, Love in C minor, Cerrone.
Heart and Soul Orchestra, the Casablanca album, Frankie Crocker with the white suit. I had it. Go ahead.
and the Love in C minor, the cover of Love in C minor, come on top 10 to the Billboard charts really fast. That give me a great buzz, because when I heard that with a friend of mine, we arrived to New York, and I started to ring the bell, and I chose Atlantic Records, the first one, to check maybe I can get the deal with these little stories on the street.
Yeah,
I can make a cover. Anyway, I signed my deal with Atlantic.
Who did you wait, Cerrone, wait, hang on. Who did you see? Who was the one that handled this at Atlantic? Who was the guy? You remember?
Yes, Jerry Greenberg, who was the
Jerry Greenberg. Yes.
And when he signed, he said to me, "Your story are so funny, so incredible. I want to explain that to the public. I want to present to you someone." And he presented to me Ahmet Ertegun. He was on the building.
Ahmet Ertegun, yes.
Yes. And between Ahmet and Jerry Greenberg, that two guys for 7 years, he opened all the door for me and create a street way, absolutely fantastic. It's big help. And my copy was released 2-3 months after the cover, and go bingo #1 immediately. And
okay.
That was worldwide. And he come back to France 1 year later, and of course, all record company who I tried to get a deal at the beginning, everybody told me, "Why you don't come to us?"
You did go to them. I know you went to them. I know you went to, because I've heard that 1,000 times. I never heard the record. I can tell you the story. Write them all down. You never gave it to me. Yes, I did. Right? You gave it to everybody. You played it for everybody, right?
Yeah. So in 2 words, that was the beginning of my career.
Now tell me how you made these records and why. What was, because you were already giving up on your career. What was the story there?
Okay, because I tuned so much on the discotheque or concert with Kongas, I understand one thing. On Kongas, I've got 2 percussionist player, great musician, and that guy go like maybe 5 and 7 minutes every show on solo, and to give them something assist, we said in France, like boom 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 boom, like that. The percussionist can play on that. So I understand the kick right on the front. You can stay longer as you want until what you put on top is great. So first idea as a drummer for Love in C minor, I put the kick all the way through and right in the front. I'm a drummer. It's my last LPs. I don't care. I put my drums right in the front. That's what I got in the idea on the front. Then I will love the string of Barry White. I love the brass of Jerry Hay from Chicago. You know the band Chicago. I
Chicago?
love I
Yes.
did a lot of things like that, and I put everything together. Love in C minor is not a song; it's like a 16 minutes of atmosphere. That was my focus. Create an atmosphere and try to keep the people listening and stay on this atmosphere the most as I can. And I stop after 16 minutes and a half. And the cherry on the cake, there is not so much vocalist on Love in C minor,
No.
but three great backing vocal who work with Elton John, who work with a lot of great artists. And at the end of the mix, I invite the three girls to come in the studio to have a drink and listen because it was so strange to do a song like that, so different than everything was on the market at that moment. So I invite the three girls, and during the play, one start to do, oh great, and I said, wait, you know what? Let me record that. Just do what you want. Do anything you feel when you hear the string or the brass or the guitar, whatever you want. And that was the real cherry on the cake to create 16 minutes of atmosphere. That
Wow.
was my concept.
Was okay on the writing staff. Was Don Ray? I know you were friends with Don Ray for many years, right? And those.
Then
I mean, he
he
rest in peace,
lived
right?
2 years ago. And of course, you cannot have a great career or do something great your own, no matter what, if you decide everything. And for the longer of my career, I've always chosen the talented people. Thanks my nose of that and my ear. And
You know. Okay.
Dunray was one of the best of that. Every time when I tried to explain to him what kind of string I would like, what kind of sound I would like, why the string at that moment and not at that moment. We have really great understanding together for 30 years.
So, because in the back of some albums I saw, I think Don Ray, and when Standing in the Rain, you would see him sitting there writing on the musical staff. So he was sitting
Yes,
writing for the orchestra, right? Because I can
absolutely.
imagine, you have to explain this. You're in the studio. What studio? Where were you, and who was doing what? Of course, you're playing the drums. We know that, and you're producing and stuff. What was going on as you're making this record? You walk in the room. You have the orchestra. How does it all set up for you?
Oh, with the keyboard, at first you create the bass, the line of bass. Then with the recording, the reverse, you're recording the bass, you're recording the kind of with the keyboard, the kind of a guitar, the groove of a guitar. You build, and then like an architect, you dispose everything you want, and you must have the great arranger as done right.
That's important.
To have the great thing. And then also I be careful a lot when I in the studio at the Trident Studio in London, who was at that moment the top studio. And no matter what, I explain when I booked the studio for 3 months, but I don't want to hear with the small speaker, the little speaker. I said I come from the stage. I pass my life on stage, so I want a big speaker. The guy said, to do what? To do what? My stuff, my creation. So I asked to deliver for a company to deliver 2 big screen.
Okay.
And we worked maybe half a day on the kick, the sound of the kick. because there was no machine at that time, you know.
No, your
So
foot. No, no, you no. You were the machine. The foot was your machine. You just pushing
yeah,
that drum. Boom, boom.
so
60 minutes playing.
I record for 20 minutes with the kick on the here, boom, boom, only the kick.
Oh, the click with it's like a click
The
track.
kick on my ear, you know, the
Boom,
kick on my
boom,
ear,
boom, boom in
boom,
your ear.
boom, boom. And then I put the snare, then I put the hi-hat, then I put the bass, then I play on top of that. But like you play drums on top of the machine today. Imagine if it
Right.
was today. And that bring the mechanic, you know, the mechanic, to what kind of mechanic I want. And we build day by day, we build.
So now here's the next question. I sat with Earl Young, who's another he's nicknamed the Time Machine, of course, the other drummer that came with, and everyone on this side of the world says Earl Young was probably the first, if not the first, to come with the straight 4/4 kick, the straight boom boom, straight 4 to the floor kick sound, because of the early Gamble and Huff stuff. Did you hear any of that stuff coming from America, or you just decided to play it?
I told you before, when I was on stage with Kongas, that is the moment where I understand, because the two guys was in the front of the stage to do a solo,
yes,
and I was in the back with my hi-hat and the kick to help, as I said, these two guys.
Right.
And
okay.
When we stop at the end of the solo, I do my drum solo, and then we play another track with a normal rhythm, like a rock band or whatever. It was not the same. And every time for the pleasure, I do, boom, boom, boom. Every time I see the public react really well. So I keep that idea, and that was the how can I say, my conductor,
Yeah, exactly. And also that keeps the rhythm of the dance floor, or keep the people locked, that 4/4 straight kick. Wow, that's crazy. Because, here on this side of the world, a lot of people say Earl Young gets the credit for that, on the first records of the disco, where you hear that 4/4 sound. And on your records, you hear it very strong, the kick. And everything's forward. The drums are so forward on your records. It's incredible.
Yeah. And at that moment, everybody who knows me with Kongas, knows I'm a real drummer and not so bad drummer. A lot of musicians said to me, Marc, why you try to play like a machine? And when you said at that time in 1975, the word machine, what it means, machine?
What do you mean machine? What exactly does that mean?
So, of course, today, 50 years after close, when you hear the music of today, no matter what the style, the drums right on the front, the kick right on, it's yeah, it surprised me, but it's the real thing. You know what I mean?
Of course, I know exactly what you mean. So WBLS in New York is playing Love in C minor, Frankie Crocker's version first, because he's promoting his album, and you get the Atlantic deal. It's Jerry Greenberg and Armin. Yeah, and Atlantic signed you and this, and then you begin the 3-month production in England, in London, right, at Trident Studios. Right. So in the 3 months, okay, so who's on the writing staff, and what was the deal? Was it to do an album or go single by single that they wanted from you?
No, the Ahmet Ertegun was so excited, and after we discussed, he signed me right away 5 years, 3 LPs.
Wow, that's crazy.
And of course, when I do my second LP, Paradise, who got a great success too. So for me, it was logic, after one success, minimum, the second can work well. I'm always feel it's gonna be for a few months and then over. I never trust I'm gonna be on this business for a long time. And because I was not on the satisfaction or whatever, I take a risk with Supernature, my third LPs.
Oh,
And when I bring my third LPs to Jerry Greenberg, Ahmet Ertegun, on his office, we listened the first track, who was "Give Me Love."
oh,
"Give Me Love." It's a little bit the suite of Love in C minor and Paradise. And then I said, but this is not the single. The single is this. And he listened to Supernature, and I see these two guys like, oh God, why? No, Cerrone, we work on you. You have a sound, a certain sound. What is it? What with these lyrics? What does it mean? And I insist. We have no fight, but we have some
the argument begins.
start argument. And anyway, Supernature was released, and the success was massive, absolutely
Yeah, we know
massive.
that. But at
So,
first, the pushback, they were pushing back. No, no, Cerrone, this is not the sound, right? And you're going, yes, it's my sound.
and
Okay,
but I don't accept. I don't accept. I got that color, like a green color or red color, and that's it for your rest of the life.
okay, Cerrone.
No, I think an artist have to take some risk. You have to have a,
Cerrone, hang on, brother. 1 second. You're in England. You're getting ready to do the Supernature. How does that come together? Do you sit with Don Ray? This is my idea in my mind. How do you formulate something like this?
No,
This
my
magic?
mind. No,
Yes.
not done right.
So you're discussing with everybody what you want to do. So tell me what that was like. Who was the people around you that was working?
Okay. We was close to the end of the production of the Give Me Give Me Love and the LP, the third LP. And I received from a company, ARP, a box with a machine, an Odyssey, and with a letter. If you use, it's a gift. If you can use for your next production, please put the credit of us. I opened the machine, and the first sound I heard it was ta 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 ta, and I tried to stop that thing to get like a real keyboard, and it took me a long time. And because it pissed me off so much, I changed my finger, and after a few minutes, oh, I put my machine, my Revox, my
Yes, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
record for a few minutes.
Okay.
Then easily I put and then I change with the chord. And I sing a melody on top, and I call. It take me one and a half a day to do a Supernature, and then I call Don Ray. Please come. I think, oh, I'm totally crazy, or I think I put the finger on something really interesting. And Don Ray, as I told you before, we have so great understanding together.
Don Ray to me, you and him, brother, you and him were geniuses. Both, sorry.
That's right.
You and him to me musically are disco geniuses. Go ahead. Go ahead. So he's telling Don Ray. What does Don Ray say when he hears it?
And Don Ray said, wow, Marc, wow. It's no matter what we're going to do with this. But it's so exciting. So we go back to London, to Trident, together, and we construct, and we build the track. And I was so excited about that. And also I chose for the lyrics at 180 degrees of Love in C minor. I chose Lena Lovitch, who wrote an incredible lyrics for the planet. And Lena Lovitch was at the beginning of the punk, the period of punk. So, les contestation, bad word. And I put that together. So you can understand why Jerry Greenberg was surprised.
Of course, I would think so too, because Yeah, you're
Yeah,
going totally dark now. You're going completely dark from the
yeah,
another record.
and you know my stuff was string, brass, sexy girls, and then I bring a track with the sound of the voice was not a guy, not a gay, not a girl. It was androgyne, you know. So because we really work for the all little thing of sound. It's maybe this is why today, 45 years after the record is still on the road.
It's crazy, right?
Don't
It's amazing. How big of an orchestra did you have for those string sections on like "Give Me Love" and stuff on the when you did the string parts? Big?
repeat the question.
The string players and stuff for those type of records. How
Oh,
many string players and things like horns,
it's
like
always, I take always a 20 string,
20
12,
players?
20 string, 12 for four.
Wow.
Four violoncelle, four cello, and 12 string.
So then to get
And
that
doubling.
and double it.
Yes. I think it was close to what Barry White used to.
Yeah,
I think so, yes.
I think so as well. It sounds it when you hear your string sections. They're huge. Wow. But the thing is, like on the American side, Patrick Adams, and I know you know these names, Patrick Adams, when he did his productions and stuff, they're working on limited budgets. Even I asked Earl Young the question about Salso Orchestra. And here's the thing about Salsa Orchestra. Does everybody think that Salsa Orchestra was in a room and they went, 1, 2, and he started laughing? He says, no, it was me, Harrison Young, Baker Harrison Young. We did the rhythm track, and then we bring in 4 string players and then comp them, and then to keep the budgets down.
Not
You
the same.
had that situation. You had a full orchestra.
Yes.
Wow.
And Don Ray was the guy, to 1, 2, like a
conductor.
He was a real orchestra.
Oh, I wish I could have seen that. I wish you had video of those sessions.
No.
I know. Everybody wishes you had video. We would be like, we would be dying to see that, what that would have been.
Can you imagine when I record Love in C minor, who I told you, for me it was the last one, and then I will do something else. So you have no idea, 47 years later, I'm going to talk with an American guy, Tony Montana, about that. Can you imagine?
Nobody is going to ask you these questions like that, because unless you're a record producer, they don't know to ask you these questions. I'm going to ask you things because I've lived in the studio, as you see behind me. I've remixed records and produced records. So us as studying you, growing up, we've all listened to what you did. You laid down the road for us, okay? Listening to those orchestrated records with the idea of thinking, oh my God, he must have had 60 people in the room playing, because you can hear it sounds like it's like you're hearing a full like classical piece of music, not disco in a sense. It's more like classical music, but funky, very well put together. Some people had asked me during the week, who was some of your main vocalists that you always went to, that you liked, that you worked with at that time, the main ones?
Oh, I'm sorry, who was?
The vocal singers you used for these tracks. Who were the main ones you loved?
I don't remember. Okay, all are left and on the sky. Because at that time I was 20 years old. The old girl have 30, 35. There was Madeleine Bell.
Madeleine Bell, okay.
Kay Garner, who was an incredible singer, and I think it was Marilyn Davis. I don't remember the third one. By the way, it was 4, not 3. 4 girls.
4 girls.
Yes, I don't remember. Sorry for that.
That's okay. No. I'm even glad.
Don't tell anybody. I forget the name of my girl.
Crazy.
No, Sue Glover, Madeleine Bell, Kay Garner, and the 4th is going to come.
You'll get it. You'll get it. Wow. Okay. The first trip you came, Atlantic. You go back to go produce again, the start of this career. Studio 54 opens. Disco explodes. You come back now, Cerrone, with the gold records, the platinum records. Where do you perform when you come back to America? Where's the first big?
You know what? I 2 years ago I made a little tour in States, New York,
No,
Chicago.
not now. Not 2 years. No, in 1977, 78.
1970.
When the first you come back to now as Cerrone,
Yes.
the artist, not Cerrone. Hi, it's me, that Frankie Crocker. No,
Okay,
no.
Yes,
Cerrone, the star now. What happens? Where do you play? Or what?
What happened? Okay, I leave to my country, to France, after I signed the contract. During the time to prepare the communication, the promotion, the manufacturing, all things. Then Atlantic said to me, "You must come back now because we're gonna release, and you're gonna have a 1 week, go to the radio and some interview." So I start like that, and one Saturday at the end of the week, of a promotional week, Jerry Gumberg said to me, "You're gonna be happy if I bring it to you on the biggest show in the States. You stay in the back and you'll see All Star." I said, "Oh yeah, thank you. What is it?" It was American Bandstand with what is the name of the American?
Dick Clark.
Who?
Dick Clark, the guy who used to talk American Bandstand. I used to all watch the show. Go ahead. Yes. You do American Bandstand.
So I go with Jerry on the back of the stage. I see all stars coming and back and forth. I was, like a kid. The day when you wake up after Christmas,
yes.
In the morning with all of, and he said to me, Jerry, during the show, he said, maybe Dick Clark is going to present the face of the sleeve of your record. Wow, will be great. We arrived close to the end, and that period, the show was a surprise artist at the end of the show. So we arrived close to the end of the show, and I said to Jerry, he don't present to me, he don't present to the public the sleeve of my record. He said, "Marc, I don't promise to you." I said, "Maybe." So
maybe.
Then I promise to you, you can see that on YouTube, my first TV show. And then I hear and I heard a live band. And Jerry take my hand and said, "Now it's your show." What? And I arrived on stage with the public. Everybody cried, Dick Clark smiling like that. You can see that on YouTube.
That's the first one you walk out, the first time in America. Right?
My first show. No rehearsal. No rehearsal. Can you imagine? No rehearsal. Everybody was rehearsal before, but when I'm arrived, like, and just the drums in the middle. And Dick Clark show me your drums. I go to the drums and we play in C minor. And the emotion was so big that helped me also a lot for the public, because the public understands it's not bullshit, it's real. The guy is surprised. Dick Clark surprised the guy. He doesn't know he's going to be on live TV, my first TV in States.
Oh my God. And not only is it live TV, it's one of the greatest shows of that time. Yes, American Bandstand was the biggest show.
It was the Saturday
afternoon. I used to watch it. That was the biggest show ever, like for music.
Yeah.
That means that's bona fide. Your record is a massive, huge, commercial pop hit. Pop hit, not disco, not this. You hear that, children? Pop hit. He's on American Bandstand, and I remember Dick started talking to you. He was starting to talk to you, and your English was okay at that time. Were you comfortable talking?
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be with you, something like that. It's not so better today, huh? My English, huh?
Your English is better than mine.
Better than your French, I told you that.
It's better than my French. Bonsoir. Oui, oui. But